All right, welcome to the Owl's Nest Barbecue Catch-Up Show. It must be Monday night at 7. I'm Steve Ray, your host, owner of Owl's Nest Barbecue Supply and Noodle. Well, Pete is at a birthday party tonight. His son-in-law is turning 30 years old, so they're having a party, and that's where Pete is. We're going to be joined in just a little bit by the winners of the ONBS Chili Championship that we had this past weekend. And before we get started, I just wanted to tell everyone how much I appreciate you coming out and supporting your favorite chili cooker and participating in the People's Choice. I will say this: we have never had that many people at the barbecue store before, and the only event we ever had more people at the service station was back in 2000 and oh gosh, I guess it was 2002 maybe, when the lottery started and we sold the first lottery ticket in the state of Tennessee at 12 midnight and 1 second. And we had a ton of people out there. And I think we had more people then than we had this past Saturday, but the place was packed. And I just really, really appreciate everyone coming out and supporting all these guys. We had a great time. I didn't see any frowning faces, which is good. And I just can't tell you how much I appreciate that, Pete and I do, supporting us and coming out to that store and just being part of it. We were lucked out on the weather. It was a beautiful day, and it was just a fun time, great time. And my family appreciates you, and all the guys at the shop appreciate you. And it's just so kind of everybody to come out, especially the neighbors here that came out. We appreciate y'all very much. And while we're talking about that, mark your calendars right now. March the 29th, we're going to have a rib cooking contest at the store where the cooks will actually be cooking at the store. So there'll be a lot more coming up about that. So that's going to be in just about, a little less than a couple months. So we look forward to that, and I hope we have a good turnout for that. Hopefully, we'll be able to get out and get outside at that point in time. Jeff Maxwell checking in. Jeff says, "Congratulations, guys! Thank you, Jeff. Jeff was one of the competitors, and he cooked some great chili. I got a chance to sample most everybody's. We were in the kitchen getting them together." And it gets kind of hectic in there, but I didn't taste any bad chili. And if I did, I'd tell you. There was the guy that finished last. His chili was great. So it was just a great time. A bunch of great guys and gals. Pat Harrington, she was there. She cooked, and I think she had a good time. And I know her husband was a little down in the knee a little bit. Scott was limping around a little bit, but we appreciate Pat taking part in it, and we look forward to more girls. We ought to have a contest among women on something. I think I'll work on that. I'll tell you what we're going to do. We got some special guests with us. We're going to bring on Perry right now. Perry Collins from Ooltewah. What's up, Perry?
Not a lot.
You doing all right? Make sure you speak up in that microphone now.
Okay.
Perry is the winner of the judges portion of the contest. And Perry, you competed last year.
I did. It was my first time last year.
Yeah, and we're waiting on Billy Holland, who won the People's Choice. Billy's trying to get hooked up, and as soon as he gets in, Perry, we'll bring him into the conversation as well. Did you take anything away from last year, Perry, from when you were competing?
I did. I last year and this year both, I wanted to keep my basic recipe traditional. Obviously, we're all going to tweak it some. But I did take last year's, and I actually made several tweaks to it, more than I originally thought.
Really?
So, yeah. We had a different group of judges last year. And one of my strategies this year, I don't care to tell it, was when I learned, you let us know who the judges are going to be. Mostly younger sports guys was most of the judges. So immediately, my opinion was probably they're going to enjoy a little more spicy than normal. So that was my strategy, and that's one of the biggest tweaks I did.
Billy Hall's just jumped in with us. Hey, Billy, how you doing?
Hey, I finally made it.
Well, that's good. There's Billy Holland. He is the winner of the People's Choice portion of the contest, and last year he was our second place finisher overall. We just had the judges contest. I was just telling Perry and I were just talking about Billy. Did you take anything away from last year that you did different?
No, my chili's the same as I make at home and I make everywhere I go. There's nothing ever changes my chili. My chili's my chili. So if it works, it works. If it don't, it don't. So it's up to the judges wherever I go. So it's what I make at home. It's what I like. It's what my family likes. And so it's just what I like.
Yeah. Well, we've already had one person ask, David Bosca from Chandler, Oklahoma, and one of our favorite people on the face of the earth, owner of Butcher Barbecue. He asked what styles and type of chili was presented. Barry, I'll let you go first. Tell everybody what method you used. Give a little bit of the recipe information. You don't have to tell all the ingredients, but you used a little different type of method.
Yeah. And again, since I've been making chili for my family, similar to Billy, I focus on what my family gives me feedback on and what they like. So that's where I keep it. And I've done over the top was my main method. Well, in the smoker, you get your meat.
Explain that.
Yeah, you get your meat prepared. Of course, I went with ground beef all and made 2 pounds of ground beef. So I separated them, made 2 separate meatballs, if you would, but I flattened them out where they would both fit over the Dutch oven that I use. I prepare all other ingredients in the Dutch oven, and the meat sits on the rack directly over it, and I let that cook. I usually it's about 240 the whole time in my smoker, and I keep on the internal temperature of the meat. Now I will go ahead and take it to 145 because I know I'm going to be crumbling it up in the chili at that point, and it's going to cook another hour and a half. So I feel comfortable with that. But that was the main method. Now, got your.
Tell me about that bacon I saw draped over it. Could you send some pictures?
Yeah.
To my phone.
Yes. Now I'll tell you, last year one of my thoughts was also to use bacon in my chili. And at the last minute last year, I decided against that because I was concerned with the cooked bacon, crisp in the chili would give it a weird texture to the mouth. So I decided against that. So what I did to get some bacon flavor is I draped the raw bacon on top of my meat on top, and I let it, simmer and bake with it. So I get some of the bacon juices. Yeah.
So did you actually put the bacon in the chili, Perry?
No, I'm staying away from that. I think personally, I think it'll give a weird texture to your mouth. So I'm not going to put the bacon in it, but obviously it gets some of the bacon drippings with the meat. And
I agree. I agree with you, Perry. Yep.
Yeah.
Billy, tell everybody about the method. What did you kind of serve up to everybody?
Mine's just a basic chili, just some ground beef, fried up, and put your veggies in there, let them soften up, add your beans, and that's about it. I think me and Perry's pretty close because I don't know if Perry wants me to say this, but he thought he was standing behind his own chili.
I tell you, I did, Billy. At first, I looked at it, and yours and mine visually looked very, very similar. I knew it was either yours or mine, and I think mine was actually next to me because they looked the same.
Yeah,
And I got to taste yours, Billy, and it was fantastic.
Yeah, Perry's like, I thought I was behind.
And what they're talking.
No.
we had them put their own chili in a container, and then we wrote numbers on the bottom, and then we brought the all the participants in, and we put them behind a chili to serve it, but we didn't let them go behind their chili because some of these guys are popular and they bring a lot of people, and that wouldn't really be fair. It'd be more of a popularity contest, and so I think it worked out pretty good. What do you guys think from a contender standpoint?
Look exactly like mine, so there was no choosing what it looked like. I can say that, so like I said, Perry thought he was standing behind his own, and it was mine. So that's how close a couple of them was.
Yeah, and at the end, Steve let us taste most of everybody's before we rounded it up, and I got a chance to taste Billy's, and when I was tasting that, I said, "That is mine." We were very similar in taste too, Billy, but it was great.
I think me, you, and Mark Ellis were very close in styles.
Yep.
Because me and Mark, even though we're teammates in barbecue, we've never compared our chili recipes, but they're pretty much exactly the same. We realized that last year when we was at the Owl's Nest.
And Steve, let me say this too. I really appreciate what you've done in these chili contests. Last year I discovered, I'm going into chili is chili. Good gracious, Yeah. But last year it was obvious to me. Every chili last year and this year was different. Now, again, I'm like Billy. I think his and mine, and there was one more that taste-wise, they were very similar in the taste profiles.
Yeah.
But, everybody else's was distinct, unique, and you could never have convinced me there can be that many different ways to make chili, but there is.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh, yeah. I don't think we've had a white chili yet. I don't think we've had a chicken chili yet.
No.
Gosh, there's all kinds. I mean, I don't think we've had
in this year's.
I don't think we've had a vegetarian chili yet. What did y'all think about the way
knows each other, and they're kind of scared of them getting too far off of chili? Yeah.
I agree.
Because you got to be careful of that. We had some people that garnished this year, and one person put a rib bone in the chili, another person put a piece of cornbread in the chili, another person served cornbread with the chili.
That depends on judges right there, because last year that kind of hurt people putting toppings. This year, I think it kind of helped.
Well, Billy really wasn't toppings; it was stuffed. Have you ever seen?
I told the rib guy, and all know who it is, that you might as well throw the $100 bill up.
Let me guess.
And the cornbread guy, we know who he is. You can throw the 50 up there on that one. So I mean,
well,
but no,
it's unique.
And it was. I mean, that's what it is. That's part of the contest.
It's unique.
Yeah,
it was unique, and it boils down to it's a chili contest. It's not a cornbread contest. It's not a rib contest. So I think you got to be careful doing that kind of stuff.
You do.
Yeah. And
like I said, last year, I think the toppings kind of hurt a couple people. And this year, I think it kind of helped a couple people. So depends on your judges. Like every contest we go to, your judges are going to be different.
I think it goes to show, fellas, that if you're going to do something like that, it better taste really good.
Yeah, and it better have.
Yeah, it better enhance that bowl of chili somehow.
Yeah. You're right.
Hey, that cornbread was good. Now I'm gonna say that I had some of it.
Yeah, it was a jalapeno cornbread. Boy, it was really good. Everybody kept coming in the kitchen wanting a taste of it, and it was gone. I mean, it was. I think your sisters came in, Perry, wanting some. It was gone.
I think one of my sisters had 4 pieces, and they finally had to hide the pan from her.
That may have been the reason it was gone. But I think let's go through these real quick here. Charles Pettit checking in. He said, "What a crowd!" And it was a great Saturday. It was Charles, and Charles was our official scorekeeper. He did the spreadsheet for us. He's retired from Big Blue, and Charles, I tell you, you sure made it a heck of a lot easier than me having to sit there and count ballots and add ballots up. Charles did a spreadsheet for us.
Hey,
We
Steve,
had
he is right. That was a heck of a crowd. I don't know about these other guys, but my legs was getting tired when we were serving.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It was about an hour and 40 minutes on the People's Choice.
Yeah, Michael Williams checking in. There's our man, Michael, with his Butcher Barbecue mug. Tom Ead checking in from us from New Jersey, I believe. Tom, welcome. David Bosca saying, I sure wish I lived closer and could have visited. David, you would have had a good time. And Daddy Dutch said, there's no such thing as chicken chili. That's chicken and bean soup.
There you go.
You might be right. Tom says he agrees. And Michael says Charles was awesome. Yes, he was. Michael, Charles is always awesome. We're lucky to have him. We're lucky to have him as one of the members of the pro staff team. We talked about this before the contest, how we split the tables this year, where when we first started, you were really only judged. Half of y'all were judged by 3 judges, and half of y'all were judged by the other 3 judges.
Yes.
And it was funny because Charles was looking at that, and he said, and then we took the winner of each table, and then we brought them together and had a kind of a chili cook-off, but all 6 of the judges judged on those 2 contenders. And what I wanted to do was give somebody, boost your chances of winning, everybody. Because if you got 2 people going to the finals, you may not have been one of the 2 people, but you still had a chance of getting there. It kind of doubled your chances of winning.
Like
and Charles said, huh? Yeah, just like a bracket.
Yeah.
And Charles told me before we got started, he goes, well, somebody can score higher than the other person. And I said, yeah, that can happen easily. You're not going to get a tie. And Billy, that's what happened with Perry. Perry's score on his table was actually about a half a point lower than Rondo's score on his table.
Yeah.
But when he put them all together and all 6 of them voted,
right,
they voted Perry's the best.
Yeah.
So what I was trying to do actually worked. It gave Perry a better chance of winning.
Whereas it's like a bracket, and it kind of extends the contest a little bit.
Yeah. And I tell you, the guys from Chatted Up Sports, they were, I don't know if you guys got a chance to talk to them. They took this thing seriously. They were wringing their hands. They were trying to really, every time they would taste somebody's chili, they would try to summarize it among themselves, and they talked about it. They resampled, and they did everything and more of what I wanted them to do to be a judge. They all, because I like it when the judges talk about it. If you've got a chili and you think it's really good, and everybody else isn't turning your way, you can advocate for it, or somebody can shut you down and say, no, that's not a good chili.
Yeah.
And we had some of that going on too.
Yeah.
So we had that last year too.
Yeah.
So I like the judges. That gets them more and more involved in the contest, I think. And they got more skin in the game, and especially there at the end. That, because I tell you guys, that was really exciting. And you can go back and watch that. It's on, we broadcasted that live on YouTube and Facebook, and it's on our YouTube channel, Al's Nest Barbecue Show on YouTube. You can go back there and you can look at the final between Perry and Rondo. Of course, we don't use their name. We just had numbers, but it got pretty exciting. I don't know did you go back and watch it, Perry?
I did. And that was very, very interesting. I was listening to them, trying to get some feedback on how they were evaluating chilies, not knowing whose they were, but you could kind of tell they would talk about some of the taste and the final, the last 2. That was very interesting. Now, I'll say this, I did watch that, that cornbread was fantastic. There was a couple of comments near the end when they were still trying to come with a consensus. Somebody made the comment, "This is a chili contest."
Yeah.
And another guy agreed verbally. Then I was seeing a couple of guys kind of shaking their heads. So I thought that was interesting.
Well, that may have been the
I think it was a discussion point among them.
Yeah, I do too. Brent Hilliard's checking in. Hey, Brent, we got the chili heads with us. Charles back, Chatted Up Sports did a great job. They sure did. Charles was back there the whole time. And
also had Dane Wormlinger from Channel 9 anchor in the morning.
Yeah,
he was with them. Yeah,
Dane was there with
him.
He
was a great judge.
He's Garrett's buddy. David says, I just about to ask if it was live. Yes, it was, David. We sure did. It was live. And what was fun was watching everybody watch it in the store as it was going on. Everybody, when their chili got up, they all crowded around
at the TV, wasn't it?
yeah. That was pretty lucrative real estate right in front of the big 65 because it was.
Here's something a little fun I was going to share with you. I believe Rondale's was among the last 2 trays that you presented to the judges. And he was at the TV, watching and listening. And I told him, I said, well, that should be all of them. I said, now, remember, Steve's about to get the winner of one of the side and the winner of the other side, and he's going to call them 2 names. If he comes out and he calls your name, you're at least second. He goes, I forgot about that. And here you come. I mean, barely got that out of my mouth. Here you come. In a few minutes, you announce both of our names. He totally forgot about that.
Well, I think it liked that, and it did give everybody a better chance of winning. And of course, the winner got $500. Perry got $500. Billy got $300 for winning People's Choice, and Rondo got $300, and Michael Williams finished third, and he got $150. So it's just a little.
Yeah, I really appreciate that, Steve. You didn't have to do that. That I think that shocked all of us.
By the way, Perry, did you get the ring off your finger?
Yes, I did. It took some liquid soap, buddy. I was getting nervous.
Did you wear it tonight, Perry?
No, not today. But
you didn't wear it. You're not going to show us the ring.
He's got to lose some weight first, I think.
There, look at the ring. There it is. Look at that.
That was pretty awesome, Steve. I'd forgotten all about that when you pulled that bag out.
Well, Billy made the suggestion to get one of those championship belts.
Yep.
And I looked it up, and I just said, there's not enough time. I was worried that it would be pushed for time, but I thought, the ring's kind of classy.
Oh yeah, that's great. I love it. That's great.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to say, Steve, I appreciate the winning money. I don't know about the other guys, but I practiced a couple of times. 2 things. The winning money helped on the grocery bill a lot.
Yeah.
But I practiced 2 times, just little tweaks. And I'm going to tell you, on one of them, it was all me and my wife could do to eat one bowl of it. We threw that whole pot away because I screwed it up.
Really?
And that was very interesting to me.
So
it was disgusting. I tried to salvage it.
You have to learn something because you pulled it out.
I went back to last year's with a few little minor tweaks. Just like you, Billy. It's traditional.
Well, that's why I say I don't tweak mine at all. Mine's my chili. That's what I make at home. That's what I make everywhere I go. I know it. I can make it with my eyes closed, and that's just what I've made for years. And like I said, if they like it, they like it. If they don't, they don't. That's just.
Well, I think I found one I'm going to do from here out.
Different, so.
Well, Perry, when you're doing yours, do you share it? I know you share with Pam, but do you like to get the family over and let everybody try it? And what do you think? Or
most of the time I do, because again, they're the critics that I trust. We got similar tastes. This year, when I was practicing, a lot of the schedules they weren't able to come over, and I was glad they didn't because they would have said it sucked. I mean, and it did. It did. You talking about throwing away a whole Dutch oven for chili into the garbage? That's how bad it sucks.
Well, I mean, if it's bad chili, it's bad chili. You certainly don't want to give it to 6 people or 3 people rather and let them try it
Yeah, my
and
two
find out
biggest
the hard way.
critics that I trust is my son and my brother-in-law, and neither one of them were available. But ironically, I'm glad they wasn't.
Billy, I know you've got yours done, but when you started it, did you let the family try it, or did you just say eat this?
Well, I mean, or Saturday, I cook mine Saturday morning, so everybody's still in bed around my house when I started cooking. So, but I mean, everybody knows my chili. Like I said, that's my chili I've made for the last 20 years. I mean, I've not changed nothing. That's my recipe. That's what I use. It's kind of based on my grandmother's, what she taught me how to make when I was standing on a stool beside the stove, helping her do it. So it's just something I've kind of done my whole life, and it's just kind of evolved into what it is.
Billy, every time you compete in all these chili contests, you're always, if you're not at the top, you're around the top. You're close. You're always close to the winner. So
Plus,
you got it.
I take it everywhere I go. If it works, it works. If it don't, it don't. So that's just, it is.
Yeah, but it works most of the time.
Yeah,
That's the thing. It works most of the time.
Yeah,
I'm going to try to dial my heat back a little bit. I think that's my main thing at certain places is a little bit of too much heat for certain people. So I'm going to try to dial that back just a little, and then I'm going to see what that does. So,
well, when I was listening to the judges, there was 2 judges. I don't know which 2, but they repeated more than once that they personally didn't like a lot of heat and chili.
Yeah. Well,
the other ones were all for it.
I was first this year, which I don't know if I liked or didn't like, but I know they did say something about I kind of lit them up right off the bat. So,
yeah, I was first last year, and I hated it.
Yeah, I was first this year.
Since you both competed last year, did you like this judging better than last year's judging kind?
I did a lot better.
It was very different. I mean, they're both different. I mean, last year was a little more, I would say, almost professional type.
Mm-hmm.
And this year was kind of just, hey, I like eating, and I'm going to tell you what I like to taste. You know?
Totally.
Yeah, we had a lot of
that. I mean, that was my take on it.
Yeah.
Not there's anything wrong with either one of them. It's just different type of judging.
Yeah, and last year,
I think that's why it turned out like it did. The toppings done better this year, or the sides, or whatever you want to call them, than they did last year.
Yeah.
Last year, what I didn't like about it was just personally having to stand up there and talk to the judges. That personally, I just don't care for that.
You see that I'd rather do that because my cooking's not as strong, but I believe I can sell something. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. David says my thought of chili judge with cornbread or something else is my favorite. You might as well serve it on hot dogs that's the way allowed. I've done one chili cook-off and mine was served no beans and no garnish.
Well, I'd rather have no garnish would be a rule I would like to see in most, but I've never seen nobody actually say no garnish. But no beans, like he's out west, that's kind of a, Texas kind of a Western thing to no beans. Yeah. So
Michael agreed with you guys that he liked the judging this year.
And People's Choice was awesome too, man. I'm glad you did that.
Yeah, that's I wanted to add that, and that's part of the reason I charged $50 a head to enter this year, just to kind of defer the expenses just a little bit.
Oh, you had to, man.
But it
the line never stopped. I was like, how long is this line?
Yeah, I said that 5 times.
I said at the beginning of the show, the only time we had more people there was when we opened up at midnight and sold the first lottery ticket period. I don't know if you remember that or not.
I remember.
We sold the first lottery ticket when Tennessee got in the lottery. When Tennessee got the lottery, and it was packed. We even had CNN pick that up. But this was a close second. I mean, this was a close second to the amount of people that were in that little gas station.
One of the biggest crowds I remember, Steve, was when I was working for you at the gas station when you had one of the gas wars. I remember vehicles are lined up down Lee Highway for hours.
Yeah, no, we've had big crowds for gas. We've had them lined up all the way to the back to the motels for gas
Yeah.
because people are stupid.
Yes.
One thing about Steve, I don't think he's too greedy. He always gives a deal somewhere. So
Let's see. Brent says, I think Steve needs to share his chili recipe from a few weeks ago. I'm old
easy,
fashioned.
I think he accidentally done that.
But you know what? And David, I'm glad David's listening now. I opened up some cans of Wendy's chili, and we put it in my chili pot, and then I added David's baked bean seasoning. I used the smoky one and put that in there, and I chopped up some onions and put them in there, and I let it simmer for about an hour on real low heat in my smoker. And I tell you right now, that chili, that was as good a chili as I've ever had in my life. So you can try that. You can do like Billy and Perry do. You can stand over the stove. Billy, you did yours in that morning, so it couldn't have taken you too long because you were there at 10:30.
A couple of hours. I went outside, hung out, and fired my heater up outside, and fired my gas top up, and put my cast on.
I had a little challenge on that. I didn't mind the evening before. My plan was to get started at noon, but we had some rain that was not going to leave the area. So I finally got it going on the smoker about 4:00, and I was up, getting everything done, put away, and cleaned till about 9:30 that night.
Everybody says chili's better the next day. I like my chili fresh. I like it, sometimes it's a little too much the next day, especially for like a competition for taste, Sometimes the flavors blend a little too much, the next day.
I always like the few times I've done chili from scratch. I used Matt Pittman's Meat Church's chili seasoning one time, and I used his recipe, it's a real complex recipe. I mean, you got to, write everything down and go to Publix because he's very brand specific. But it was a good chili.
I make my own seasoning as far as my chili seasoning goes. I don't use no chili powder or anything like that. And other than that, a little bit of Butcher Barbecue Grilling Addiction just for a little bit on top, just to add to it. Other than that, it's just a basic recipe of vegetables, and
that stuff is good on everything in Billy.
I used it in my meat. Yeah.
Did you really?
Yeah.
So there's two winners. Two winners using Grilling Addiction.
Yeah.
I don't know what else. I don't know what other kind
Every time I go to a competition, whatever Grilling Addiction I got left, I give to somebody that's never tried it. And David's probably got a new customer every time I go to a competition because I give my Grilling Addiction away every time I leave.
Obviously, it's a winner. Both of y'all used it. That may be the common
I've done
denominator.
That for 3 years, so
that may be when everybody was tasting.
Yeah.
So what? I got a few minutes left here, Perry. What would you like to see us do maybe differently next year?
We've talked about it a little bit just for the crowd. And honestly, I think this is going to grow every year now.
I do
for
too.
The crowd and the people's choice, you got to keep that. Got to keep people's choice. Trying to arrange it with your facility there where there's a lot more room, maybe on the outside.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we've got that. I've got that. Well, Billy, what would you like to see changed?
I kind of agree with Perry. I think the lot you got out back, that big grass area, if it's nice weather like we had the other day, setting up some tent areas, a little bit of area to walk around, the public, more room to move around, make the line move quicker on the people's choice. But as far as judging, I mean, both years have been great. I mean, I see no reason not to have something a little different next year.
I like to keep the. I think I enjoyed this year's judging more than last year because I think a lot of people don't speak well to other people. Of course, in Perry, I'm going to tell you that first one in front of the judges you're definitely at a loss because you don't know what to say and they don't know what to expect, and everybody's uptight.
I don't know if Billy remembers last year. As soon as I got through and I come back in the room where everybody was, gathered around watching it, first words out of my mouth was like, "Well, y'all know how not to do it now."
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
But I do like keeping the judges separated from the participants.
Yeah, I
And,
agree.
and of course, doing the blind judging is a must when you do it this way.
I think the blind judging was great. Like that,
Yeah. That way you can, the judges can be more critical, I think, and I think you do get a fairer judged product. I think everybody gets a fairer shake.
I agree.
So we'll see. But I've got that one section on the side where I usually park.
I got a buddy here with me.
I see that. I can put a lean-to over that. That'd be a perfect place for it. So
I got two of them, one outside. So
let's see. Michael says, "Bring the chatted up sports guys back." Michael, you're right. They did a good job, and they said that they're in for the rib contest. So what we're going to do on the rib contest?
What they were doing,
huh?
They were serious about what they were doing.
Yeah, they're real serious about what they're doing. Yeah. They had a great time, and of course, they broadcasted it on their YouTube channel and Facebook page as well. If I tell you guys, if you're a sports nut like I am, these guys, Chatted Up Sports, they know what they're talking about. They're as good as any national.
I listened to their show last week. It was great. Yeah.
Yeah, they're good. They know their sports. Greg Larnard had a show on for a couple of years on ESPN before they folded the tent, and I mean he's good. He's really good. Well, guys, congratulations, both of you. I appreciate you making time for everybody here tonight.
Don't change your chili a bit, Billy.
I don't. Like I said, that's the thing about mine. I don't change it. It's the same every time. So
it's a winner.
Well, are you guys going to think you guys will get in the rib contest?
Oh, of course, yeah.
I'll give it some thought.
Oh, I'm in. Count me
in. That's going to be fun. We're going to do ribs. We're going to do ribs Greek style, cooking right over a live fire.
Yeah, there's Michael.
Right over charcoal, like they do.
Down the Rib King. There he is.
You mean Mike's going to get into it?
No, Michael won't get into a rib contest. You kidding? He don't know nothing about ribs.
I know.
Well, fellas, I appreciate y'all joining us. Thank you so much, and thanks for participating. And both of y'all brought your families with you, and that's what I think the best part about it, Barry, was seeing all your siblings. I haven't seen them in a long time, and it was great seeing them.
Yeah, Pam had to work. She wanted to be there.
Say what?
Pam had to work, but she wanted to be there.
Yeah, well, I understand everybody. It's Saturday. I was working. I wasn't somewhere else. So, and Billy, you bringing your wife and all your kids up, man, that was great. That was great, and it's always nice meeting everybody's families and all the nice people that came out. Couldn't believe how many just customers came out and enjoyed the day. So, but I'm like you, Perry. I think it's going to get a lot bigger. And if we can figure out a way to make this thing go outside, we could even increase the number of participants too. So, that's a lot of fun. Guys, thank you so much. We appreciate you.
I think it could turn into something pretty big. Yep.
Yeah, it was already big.
Yeah,
it's already big. We just gotta tweak the venue a little bit, I think.
Yep.
And it'll be good. All right, you guys get some rest. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Steve.
Appreciate you. Perry Collins and Billy Holland there, the two winners of the Perry won the judges portion of the contest, and Billy won the People's Choice portion of the contest. And of course, we had 10 other participants who I just can't thank enough for participating and joining in the fun. And at the end of the day, it is it's fun to win, but it's fun to compete too. And everybody did a great job. And I just couldn't believe how well everybody got along. And it was just great. It was great. And I appreciate everybody coming out. Next Monday night. Well, let's start back up. Of course, next Sunday, Super Bowl Sunday. Now, this Saturday on the 20 at 10 show, Pete and I are going to have a special Super Bowl snack made out of tri-tip. You know, we spoke about, and I posted a couple pictures of tri-tip from Publix. And I can't believe all the people that went and bought tri-tip and were nice enough to post the pictures on our Owl's Nest Barbecue Nation Facebook page. And we're going to get to those pictures here in just a second. Tri-tip is a wonderful piece of meat. It's beginning to be real popular here in town, in this section of the country, for that matter. And Pete and I are going to be cooking one for you and showing you how to make that for your Super Bowl snack. So that's going to be a good one. That's on Saturday. And on next Monday, Jason Penley is going to join us. Jason has just finished the Ultimate Grilling Shed. It's the nicest one I've ever seen. And we'll be having the pictures on there, and Jason's going to join us. And he's going to tell us what inspired him to do it, how he designed it, and who built it or who helped him build it. And he's going to go through that with us. So that should be a really, really interesting show next Monday night. Let's get to the pictures this week. There is, let's see, that's Chris McCauley. He said he picked that ham up for 99 cents a pound. And look at that thing. That is beautiful. That just screams eat me all over it. Chris, that's a great job you did on that. Now here's Jason Penley. That's a 35-day aged prime rib. And Jason's been aging that. And he cut into it this weekend. And that's what it looks like cut in half. That's what it looks like when it was being aged, when he pulled it out of his ager. And this is where he cut it up into steaks after he trimmed all the funk off of it. And you can tell that they were just, if you never had aged beef, and I've had Jason's aged beef before, and it is delicious. So good job there, Jason. That's an interesting hobby. Jordan sent in a picture of his ribs. Look at those ribs. Man, those are snaggler tooth, man. These look great, Heath. The color on those is beautiful. And I love it when you get those bones sticking out like that. The pullback is wonderful, and that just screams eat me too. Here's Michael Williams. That's it. Michael's tri-tip that he cooked. That's what it looks like when it's finished. He's got some great char on there, and I guarantee you that thing tasted unbelievable. And Steve Davidson, not to be outdone ever, there's Steve's tri-tip that he sent in, all sliced up. And I tell you, that is so close to like a sirloin steak. It's close to the sirloin, I believe, on a cow. I'm not real double sure where it comes from. If David's still listening, he can probably tell us where it came from exactly. But that is what one looks like, all sliced up. Let's see. Here's, you heard us talking about that cornbread that one of the chili competitors served. That's it right there. That's some jalapeno and cheese cornbread that Rondell Thacker made. And Rondell, you did a great job on that. That stuff. Your chili was great, second place. And that cornbread was just unbelievably good. I love cornbread, just love it. There's Steve Davidson's chicken wings. I believe that's Steve's. Yes, it is. It's some chicken wings. Look, beautiful color. He's got that down to a science. And there's Steve Davidson's tri-tip right before he sliced it up. That's what it looks like. That little V, they call it a tri-tip because it's kind of got 3 sections of meat in it. And it's just tasty. They've got their tri-tips on sale 2 for $1 until Wednesday at Publix. So if you've never tried a tri-tip before, I urge you, go down to Publix. You can pick, it's 2 for $1, or you can buy one and they cut it in half. They cut the price in half. Delicious. It's a great, so easy. It takes about an hour, maybe not even that long to do one. It'll feed a bunch of people, and it'll make a bunch of people happy, I assure you. Thomas Damon checking in from Germany. Look at that chicken. Now, what he did, he put rub on one half and a Greek marinade on the other half. And I've never really seen a chicken with that kind of texture, but it looks fantastic. And Thomas, thank you for always keeping us supplied with great pictures. We appreciate it from Germany. One of these days, we're going to get Thomas on here, and of course, he'd have to be at midnight. He'll have to stay up till midnight to be on the show, but maybe he'll do that for us. And here's your winners. There's Perry there on the left. Rondell Thacker was the second place overall. Michael Williams, third place overall in the judges' championship portion. And there's Billy Holland on the right, the winner of the People's Choice portion of the contest. Great guys, great competitors. Fellas, I appreciate y'all being with us. Thank you, everybody, for coming out to see us. And don't forget, this Saturday, we'll be talking some tri-tip and Super Bowl snacks. And then next Monday, Jason Penley's super duper grilling shed that he's made. And you're going to, I promise you, you'll want to tune in. You'll be impressed. Until then, we'll see you so soon.
People on the product. And I think for us, we've had some really good retailers. We were just talking about one today that came on with us, Owl's Nest Barbecue. He's awesome. But he sold a lot of product, but he's passionate about it. Yep. He talks about it. He educates his people, his staff, everybody on it.